I grew up on the west side of Jacksonville, Florida in the 1980s. We'd say on the west side, we'd say the west side is the best side. But a lot of people wouldn't call it the best side just because there's defined by like stray dogs and random gunshots and lots of trailer parks. So a lot of people wouldn't say that it was the best side of Jacksonville, but it is the side of town that Leonard Skinner's from and Molly Hatchet, two of the best Southern rock bands in the 1970s. And in fact, the lead singer, Molly Hatchet, I think it was the lead singer, lived 4 blocks down from where I lived with my Mima and my Peepaw. And that was their practice house. So we'd often hear Molly Hatchet's music being played live throughout our neighborhood. And Molly Hatchet described where we were from, the West Side, in a song called Gator Country. And they described it as a place where the wine and the women are free, which isn't actually true because the highest rate of prostitution was a block away from my Mima, my Peepaw's house. It was halfway between us and Molly Hatchet. So the women definitely weren't free, but definitely there's a sense of uninhibited and carefree way of living on the west side of Jacksonville. Now, my dad is also from the west side. He lived there, was born there, spent most of his life there, and it definitely shaped his parenting style. So it wasn't perfect, but if you put it in the context of being a West Sider, a lot of it makes sense. Like one of his most important rules that he told my older brother and me was never start a fight, but never back down from one, which isn't terrible. Like you basically he's saying, don't be a bully. And if someone bullies you, you need to stand up to them and you need to stand up to them on your own. So it's not terrible. It's not how we would handle it today, but it wasn't bad for parenting of the 1980s. He didn't actually live with us at my Meemaw, my Peepaw's house. He lived with his girlfriend, and what I thought of as the fancy part of the West Side, it was like more of a suburban community where all the houses are perfectly aligned and they all have the same floor plan. And his girlfriend bought a house on what I first called as a dead end, but his girlfriend was like, no, no, it's not a dead end. It's called a cul-de-sac. And I was like, whoa, that's super fancy. And I loved being there because it felt so safe when I was outside playing there. There's no stray dogs, no random gunshots, no women outside working really hard, single-handedly raising the GDP of Jacksonville. It just was like a very different environment. And she had a daughter that was only 18 days older than me. Her name was Sunshine. And Sunshine liked to remind me all the time that she was 18 days older than me, as if that gave her some kind of authority over me. And she called my dad dad, and she called me her step sort of kind of in a way half sister. And I remind her, it's like, hey, our parents aren't actually married, but that's okay. And my dad also told my brother and I that we were not allowed to argue with Sunshine. Because she's an only child, she was so delicate that she would be able to handle the arguing and the fighting. So we had to be really nice to her and always agree with her and always do what she says. So I let her call me whatever she wanted. But Sunshine didn't like to go outside. She liked to play inside with her dolls. So my brother and I would have to be really delicate in trying to convince her to play outside with us where we knew it was super safe. Except for once, there was 3 kids from the neighborhood who came by and started yelling at us one day. They were like yelling at us like, we don't belong there. They had to get off their street. I was like, it's not a street, it's a cul-de-sac. Come on, be proud of that. They were like yelling, saying that if we stayed out there, they were going to beat us up. And we're like, whoa, wait a minute. And we looked at, my brother and I looked at these kids and we were sizing them up, and like, there was 3 of them. There was the oldest girl who was much older, much bigger than any of us. And then there was 2 boys. One of them was older and bigger than us, but younger than the girl that was with them. And that older boy was like kind of stocky with blonde hair, blue eyes. And then there was the youngest boy who was almost exactly my size and my age, and he had blonde hair, blue eyes. He's actually really cute. But my brother and I were sizing it up, and we're like, they're much bigger and older than us, except for that one little one. Um, we're not going to be able to do this. So we turned around to go back inside, look at Sunshine. She's already packed up her dolls and headed inside for the first sign of trouble. So we head back inside, and because Sunshine was ahead of us, she got to her dad first, my dad, and she goes, Dad, there were 3 kids out there who were threatening to beat us up if we kept playing out on the street. It was like, Sunshine, not your dad, but do you know what you just said? You just said that we didn't follow one of his most important rules. But then I was, Sunshine, I'd never heard this rule because it was always told to my brother. I was always just there, kind of like soaking up all of this toxic masculinity, like secondhand smoke, right? But she had never heard this, so she didn't know what she was saying. And my dad looks over at my brother and goes, "Son, is that true?" My brother, who's so much smarter than I give him credit for, he goes, "I don't know, like total plausible deniability." But then Sunshine goes, "You know it's true. You were standing right there next to us talking to them." My dad goes, "Son, the three of you get outside and you fight those kids, and you're not allowed to come back into this home until you have." And they're like, "Oh man, we knew it was coming." But Sunshine was completely surprised by this. Like all of the color just left her face. She was completely pale. I think she was about to pass out. She had no clue that that's what we were going to be told to do. But my dad was like, "Come on." And my brother was like, "Come on, let's go. We got to go out and do this." So the three of us go out into the street again. We start yelling for these kids to come out so we can fight them. They eventually come out. We're standing in the middle of the street, yelling and arguing, saying all these profanities back and forth to each other the way that kids do. And I realized that, wait a minute, it's just me yelling at the three kids. Sunshine's sitting next to me and she's just basically crying. And my brother's just sitting there really quiet, not saying anything. As I realized, oh, because my brother can't fight these kids. The only one that he can really fight is the middle boy. He can't fight the younger boy because the younger boy is so much smaller than him. He'd be a bully if he was fighting that boy. And he can't fight the older boy because if he fights the older boy, the girl will jump in. It'll be 2 against 1. He can't fight the girl because the girl's a girl, and if he fights the girl, well, she's bigger than him, but also then he's beating up a girl, and that's worse than being a bully. So my brother was stuck. He really couldn't do anything. Sunshine wasn't going to offer any help, so it had to be me. I had to be the one to start the fight. So I reach over to the boy, who's still so cute, and I pushed him really hard. He was really surprised by this, but then he pushes me back. The two of us are pushing each other. We fall down on the ground. We're rolling around, imitating what we think it means to fight. I think we were trying to punch and kick each other, but I don't remember ever really getting hurt because I don't think that we were actually doing it right. Because at one point I'm on top of him and I'm thinking, wow, this is fun. He's super cute. Maybe he'll want to be my boyfriend afterwards. But then the older boy jumps in and it's 2 against 1. So then my brother jumps in, pulls the older boy off of me and pulls off of us. The other little boy crawls out from underneath me. The 4 of us separate, catch our breath. I look over at Sunshine. She's finally stopped hyperventilating. And my brother goes, "Okay, that's enough. Let's go home." So we do. The 3 of us go back home, walk into the house. Sunshine again goes right up to my dad and says, "Dad, we fought them." Like, what? First of all, they're not married. Second of all, who is this we? I'm the one who fought them. You didn't. But my dad goes, "All right, great. Good job." And then that was it. That's all that he said. He didn't ask us if we were okay. He didn't ask us how we did. He didn't ask us if we won, because we did. I won the fight. But he didn't ask any of that. He didn't care. He just wanted to know that we did it. We could have just gone outside, walked around for a while, come back in and said, "Dad, we fought them." And he'd be like, "Okay, cool." But we're good kids from the West Side. So when we're told to go out and fight someone, we do it. So that's as best as I can say about where I live and why it's called the best side. West Side is the best side. Thank you very much.